go. I'm really messy.
I'm actually obsessed with your outfit.
Mama.
Oh my god. Literally serving cunt.
Nah.
Oh, slow my life.
Oh.
Oh, the eyes are nice.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm
You're so cute. Sorry, the bang of Cora monkery of this.
No, she's so much more girly than
Mama.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Just get in the zone. Yeah, you actually are. Sky. Sky. On the table, yeah? No thanks. Yeah? What's your favourite?
Oh, here's a boy, would you?
I've been using Waterdrop because I'm a dilute connoisseur. I'm obsessed with getting dilute. A vitamin hydration cube. I'll start with my favourite one. So this is Glow, the mango and cactus fruit. I only have one left. All the plastic they use is recycled. They're a part of a plastic bank. So for every Waterdrop box bought, 1 bottle of water is recycled. And this is my emotional support water bottle from Waterdrop. It's the perfect size. It goes in the base of the buggy. It's really encouraging me to drink more water because I think plain water is too plain, especially if you don't like certain people's tap water. I don't necessarily like the taste of the tap water my mom's house, but this really masks the taste of it. And I know on the Waterdrop website they have also a water filter carafe, so I might get my mom one for this house. And they have a kids range for kids bottles, and they have thermoses for hot drinks, and they also do teas, different types of teas and iced teas, so I think I'm going to get them next. I'm finished my mango and cactus fruit. That one's called Glow, and that has vitamin C and vitamin E in it. They're also sugar free and vegan. This is my second favorite. It's the raspberry and elderflower. I put a few of these in my handbag when I was going on a night out, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to drink or not, so I ordered myself a sparkling water. And you know when when you're sick of drinking fizzy drinks, it's too much sugar. So if you get a fizzy water and then stick one of these in, it was so nice with ice. Oh, so this one has vitamin E and vitamin C in it as well, and biotin. But what they also have are alternatives to coffee if you're not into drinking coffee. Now I am a big coffee drinker, but if I don't want to have the jitters or like an extreme hit of caffeine, you can stick these into your water. So this one is mango flavour, and it has 90 milligrams of natural caffeine, and it also has vitamin C, vitamin B6 and vitamin 12 in it. You're getting good stuff as well. I can't recommend these enough. And then they also do electrolytes. So this is called the Microlite Electrolyte Rapid Hydration Cube. Good for after the gym, if you're going for runs. It has 5 electrolytes and 9 vitamins. So, and I've definitely been drinking more water. I found if I'm just relying on drinking glasses of water, I know I'm not going to do it, or I'm only going to drink with my meals. And you should be drinking water throughout the day, especially if you're breastfeeding, you're so dehydrated. It's tasty. I have a discount code. It's Keelan10 for 10% off. And if you want them stronger, you can add 2 or 3 more. Sometimes I would do 2 cubes in one of these, but depending on what sort of strength of flavor you want in your drink. I don't know what to do with myself. I just feel like such a fucking failure, stupid idiot. So ingrained in us to want to find love and have a partner and create a partnership and to create a sort of our own community and own lifestyle. And then when you are in a relationship, you create a system, a mini universe within itself of how you behave, the type of food that you eat, what your routines and what you do every day. And then once that breaks away, it's like a part of your identity is lost. But also I'm letting go of the fantasy that I had in my head that I was going to die with this person, or that we were going to be together forever and have a family forever. I didn't talk for the rest of this video, so I'm just going to read a short story over what I filmed. So hope you enjoy. I haven't lived in this room since I was 17. The multicoloured plastic chandelier from Avoca with only 2 working bulbs has been adorned by years worth of dust and cobwebs. The desk is stained with orange Rimmel Longwear foundation and black mascara. When we first moved in, my parents ran out of money for the rooms upstairs, so the floors and skirting boards were installed by my dad. The white floorboards that are crying to be pushed closer together with a rubber mallet are instead full of cracks filled with grout that's turned brown. 3 out of the 4 skirting boards are stained dark oak.
The fourth left natural wood. As a child, I thought this was an accent skirting board, like the way middle-class people have one wall with wallpaper to look more posh or stylish. But now I know he probably just ran out of wood stain, or more likely forgot about it. The bed is still the silver metal single bed from IKEA that I picked out when I was 12 because it made me feel like a teenager. I sit down to check the springs. Although I haven't grown much in terms of height, I feel gigantic in comparison to the bed. It's in the corner of the room now, but I remember it being along the window because I liked smoking Marlboro Reds out the window while crouched on the bed, listening to Pink Floyd on my dad's hand-me-down iPod Nano. Being 16, I was self-pitying and self-absorbed. A banal display of adolescence. My parents were not perfect, but now I see are completely innocuous. I thought I was neglected because I was never brought to Hollister on my birthday and told, "Get whatever you want, darling." But I got 6 driving lessons that were pinned to my notice board and forgotten about, subsequently going out of date and unredeemable. I can feel the penitent grimace on my face at the thought of the waste of money. I was convinced we were poor because the fridge was always empty and our clothes always smelled like dirty socks. I now know my mother was busy. I was so pedantic about the upkeep of our house and the image of wealth, and I failed to appreciate the view of the garden from my bedroom window. A tree house me and my sister soon turned into a session house, an apple tree and pink hydrangea bush. Just beyond the walls in the distance, a full view of the sea and the Dublin city lights. A view I'd never be able to afford myself. I didn't pack everything with me. I panicked and threw random bits into a suitcase. So I'm looking through what's been left here over the years, from Christmases and birthdays to just abandoned and unloved. The open drawer smells slightly musty and there's something comforting about it. The smell of home. Nothing's been folded, so I take out a crumpled white lycra thong bodysuit with tan-stained armpits. The mesh panelling permanently smells of BO from its wears to Tamangos in the right venue. I'm shocked they make something so skimpy in such a small size. A white fishnet zip-up cardigan bought in one of those pop-up shops in the Ilac Centre. I'm not trying to look like I'm going through an in-sync phase or a crisis. There's not much difference between the two. A half-zip North Face with holes in the elbow, a washed-out sort of grey colour, so originally it could have been white, a light blue or black, I can't remember which. I throw it on the bed. One of my dad's old Talking Heads t-shirts, the neckline worn out, it could almost be an off-the-shoulder top. I throw it on the bed. Now for trousers, I open the next drawer. I pull out a pair of baggy Victoria's Secret pink tracksuit bottoms with period stains and holes in the crotch. I'm grateful I never threw them out. I throw them on the bed. I spot my pair of American flag denim shorts from Topshop, a size UK 6. I try them on for good measure. I have to jump to get them over my thighs, but the button won't even touch over my midriff. I leave them displayed on top of the chest of drawers as a reminder. I undress, taking my time to examine my body in the floral rimmed mirror, hunching and straightening, like the cat-cow position in yoga, to see how low I can get my tits to touch. I hunch enough to get them down to my belly button. I start swaying them side to side. I laugh. Taking a piss, I hang my head in between my legs like I'm drunk. I'm proud of how loud the stream is against the toilet water. In the mirror, I pick and squeeze at my blackheads until they're red and inflamed, pop a whitehead on my chin, and tear tiny pieces of toilet paper to put on the blood like I've cut myself shaving. I find the tweezers and start going for a Pamela Anderson thin brow. It's too much work, so I just thin out the ends. I pluck the hairs on my upper lip. There's 3 or 4 on either side and one long brown whisker underneath my chin. My mother doesn't believe in skincare, so the bathroom toiletries consist of Astral, Vaseline and Sudocreme. I put Vaseline on my eyebrows and eyelashes, brushing them upwards with my index finger, moisturise my face with Astral, rubbing off the bits of toilet paper, and put Sudocreme in their place. If anything, I look healthy, almost youthful. I put on a pair of my mum's old running shoes and find a pair of wired earphones. The wide ones that feel like they're gouging your ear canal. It reminds me of anal. I play Grace by Jeff Buckley knowing the sound is leaking, but I don't care. I head down to the village where I used to loiter around the playground and fish for drink outside Centra. Some shops have been shut down and replaced more than once since I've lived here. The walk is downhill and there are huge strides in my steps and I'm swinging my arms like a yummy mummy speed walking. I look like I have somewhere important to be. I reach Starbucks, which is still a novelty to me since I remember when the first Starbucks ever came to Ireland. This particular one opened up after I moved out. The place is empty except for one woman rocking a buggy back and forth, drinking what looks like a large Americano, or should I say, venti. She looks tired and fed up. She's so spaced out she doesn't notice or acknowledge me coming in the door. She remains staring at a spot on the ground, rocking back and forth. At the counter, I press my finger over my lips and furrow my brow in feigned contemplation, but I already know what I want. I order a venti caramel frappuccino with an extra shot of coffee and whipped cream on top. I make sure to smile extra wide and say thank you so much to the cashier because I'm sure they're used to rude and impatient customers, and I'm adamant on proving to them I'm not like the other customers. While I'm waiting for my drink, I stare freely at the forlorn mother, trying to place her face. I wasn't sure if she had a generic look or if I've met her before, but now I know I have. She was a girl in my school's older sister, Siobhan or Aoife, I can't remember which, but we would get ready in their house before discos. I remember this older sister shaking my hand when she first met me. I thought she was joking, so I laughed, but then she proceeded to shake hands with the rest of the girls in the room. I thought she was so cool and mature, I couldn't stop myself from imagining her having sex with her boyfriend, with Radiohead playing and then probably smoking a cigarette in the bed afterwards. To see her like this, my younger self was surprised, almost disappointed that she didn't live up to her cool older sister reputation and end up as a groupie travelling the world with her fiancé's band or a filmmaker or a zookeeper, anything with more societal value than a mother. I feel sorry for her. My drink's ready and I'm slurping before I'm out the door. Siobhan or Aoife, I can't remember which, still doesn't notice me as I exit the door, but I wish I had a pair of sunglasses or a large hat for the walk home, now suddenly aware I could bump into anyone I know. I take the back trams. It's a steeper walk, but less of a chance of bumping into someone. Out the back of my estate, there's a bench that faces Ireland's Eye. I had sex with my first boyfriend on this bench, but I had thrush at the time from whatever contraceptive pill I was on, so it makes me feel itchy even thinking about it. I always used to come here to cry. I sit down and try now, scrunching my face up thinking of my parents dying in a car crash. I make a wounded noise, but no tears come out. I give up. I polish off my frappuccino and play Radiohead in honour of Siobhan or Aoife, I can't remember which. I'm still slightly out of breath from the walk up, but I half sing along to the lyrics in the privacy of my thrush bench. After 3 songs, I decide to leave. I'm stepping down from the slightly raised bush onto the tram when a dog runs up to my ankles. One of those white curly-haired ones with the gunk in the corner of their eyes. I reach down to scratch under its chin when its owner comes nearer and calls, "Maggie?" No one has called me that since I was in school. Everyone in London called me Marge or Margaret in a corporate setting. I always resented my parents for naming me with such a traditional name. I had the name of most of my friends' grannies. I became fond of it when a boy I liked nicknamed me Maggie in 6th class because his favourite show was The Simpsons. The sun's in my eyes, so I can only make out a silhouette, but I recognise the gait and walk, a bounce from toe to heel, which I thought was an endearing affectation, but now realise it's probably a symptom of autism. It's Tommy, who was a few years ahead of me in secondary school. I wouldn't classify what we were doing as exactly dating, but we lived close enough to each other to sneak out at night to kiss and dry hump. The first time I drove was in his Nissan Micra. It's also the first time I had sex in a car. After months of persistent nighttime dry humping and nature sessions, we had sex for the first time. He didn't take my virginity, but it was still memorable. His bedroom was on the ground floor of his house, and so I snuck in his window. He was wearing plaid pyjamas that his mum probably bought him and a navy t-shirt. I was nervous and asked to use the bathroom. He had an ensuite, so it wasn't risky. Before I went in, he blurted out that his sisters also used the same bathroom, which I thought was a futile piece of information. But I know he was probably worried I would see skid marks in the toilet bowl. I knew I wouldn't care because I was in love with him. We kissed and dry humped for a while before he announced how excited he was to have sex without a condom for the first time. It was the first time I realised that it was common knowledge among boys in my school that I was on the pill. We'd only ever gone as far as dry humping, so I was shocked at the size of his penis. I'm not being dramatic in saying it was the size of my thumb. I did not feel it inside me. My mons pubis was bouncing against his lower abdomen. We might as well have been dry humping. A week later, he told me things were getting too serious and I projectile vomited when I got home. He'd routinely drunk text me every weekend for the following 6 months. I acquiesced and continued to sneak into his bedroom window for less than satisfactory sex, and I still sucked my stomach in when I was on top. I can finally make out his face now, and he looks genuinely excited to see me. His hair now darker and his under-eye bags deeper, a few more crow's feet but still handsome. The corners of his mouth are always turned up like he's perpetually waiting for you to laugh at his tongue-in-cheek joke. "Fancy seeing you round here, partner," in a Midwestern accent I know he regrets immediately after he said it. His voice still has the same smoker's husk. I feel myself get hot. "I'm just visiting my parents. It's my mum's birthday," I lie, but the real reason is too pathetic. I'm grateful we never got close enough for him to potentially remember when my mother's birthday actually is. Last I heard, he got a degree in actuary in Leeds and was working in Holborn in London, although I never bumped into him there. "I heard you moved to London. I'm surprised we never bumped into each other." I smirk and convince myself we're telepathic. "I live in East. Not enough suits out there for you, I guess." I make him laugh. I'm delighted with myself. "I'm only home from my sister's wedding, but I'd love to meet up for a drink tonight if you're around." I'm annoyed at myself for getting jealous at whoever his date is for the wedding. She's probably blonde and tanned and has a gorgeous strapless dress from Cecile Banson. "Yeah, I should be free," trying to sound as casual as possible. "Give me your number, so." He takes out his phone and I notice he's shaking slightly. I grab it to put my number in and I'm proud I'm not. Despite the extra shot in my frappuccino, I feel closer to him knowing we both have UK phone numbers. I didn't have to put in the +44. I run the rest of the way home.